There's so many people that talk about enlightenment like it's some type of acquisition, like it's some level that you go to. And the harsh reality is, I mean, if you listen to any of the gurus, the ones that portray that state, it's not something that they gained, it's everything that they lost. And one of the biggest things that they lose is identity. But the thing is we're not all here for that. We're not all here for this idea that we must transcend ourselves in some manner to experience godhood, because that is already here. It's going back to a natural state of being. It's who you were before you added on all the baggage. So I'm a huge proponent of the tantric way of life, going into the things that you desire to find out that the desire isn't as big of a subject as you thought it was. We get so caught up in masks and ideas and perceptions. Do they love me? Do they not love me? It gets confounding. And that's how you add on the trauma, because you have an anticipation or an expectation that if I do this thing, if I get that girlfriend or that boyfriend, that will make my life so much better. And the problem is that it doesn't. It's you that makes life so much better. So go deeply into yourself. That's what meditation's all about. That's what the silence brings. So it's a natural state. It's a comfortable state. It's a peaceful state. Enjoying the essence of you in such a way as to let the you go away. Because we're all playing parts. None of us are actually for real. We are just these beings of light and understanding and love and compassion. And when those things go away, that's when the ego takes hold. So be like a curious child. I had an early memory when I was really young. I must have been 5, 6, probably about 6 years old. No, actually, it would have been 7, because I had just gotten out of kindergarten and I was in first grade. And I remember I got called to the principal's office for something. And as a 7-year-old, you're like, oh, what's going on? And I had no idea. I had no idea as to what was going on, what was happening, why I was being called down there. And I got down there, and I remember sitting in the chair, and there was a large, like a bench area and a table, and then the secretaries, and I could see into the office of the principal, and he was doing something else, and I just sat there. I sat there so quietly, because I had no idea what was happening. And it was so confounding that I couldn't even make something up. I couldn't even imagine what was going on. And I mean, it turned out to be nothing. It was just a nothing event. But the peace that I had sitting there, not knowing what was happening, was it going to be good? Was it going to be bad? I had no clue. I had just moved from northern Minnesota to Chicago with my mom's boyfriend. And so just being in this new environment, just culture shock. And being 7 years old was even heavier. So that's the state of open curiosity that we need to be in. Open curiosity is a childlike wonder, a childlike awe, not really knowing for certain what is what. And in a weird sort of way, that's what Bruce Lee talks about with be like water. Now he was coming from a perspective of like, physical contact, combat contact, But what it really gets to is if you struggle, say you're going down a rapid, and if you struggle, you're probably going to hit a few rocks on the way down. But if you go with the flow, you may hit a rock, but chances are you're just going to go with the current. And that's the childlike curiosity and wonder. Because children don't do bad things on purpose. They're only seen bad because socially we make them that way. The actual reality of it is there are no things that are intrinsically bad or good. It's all gray areas. So doing the tantric approach and doing the things that you find excitement in and overlooking the social conditioning, not worrying about what society deems yes or no or correct or not correct and all the nonsense, who you vote for, who you can fall in love with, what types of clothes you can wear, what type of house you can live in, what type of car you drive. When you don't pay as much attention to what the social norms are, it gives you a bigger breadth of our cosmic understanding, our cosmic approach. So go through the things that excite you. As long as you're not harming anyone and you're living to your fullest excitement, you're on path. Because that's what path is about. It's a releasing of things, not a taking on of things. We think that we have to work hard and do a thing and, sit in meditation for 8 hours a day, 7 days a week in order to gain some type of thing, like you're getting something. That something is already you. If you listen to any of the great gurus, Nisargadatta, Ramana Maharishi, Muji, Papaji, and that's just one lineage. You get into Buddhist lineages and Taoist lineages, and they're just fingers that point in a direction that you want to go because that excites you, right? Because the idea of enlightenment, knowing all things, is an exciting concept. But it's not knowing all things. It's letting go of all the things you know. Because your beliefs will keep you trapped in a divergent view of what enlightenment is supposed to be. Because it's not intrinsically one thing or another, right? That's what the non-dualists get at. You are already that, there is no this or that, this is all an illusion. Well, that's great until you're living it. So live it fully. Don't worry about the non-duality, don't worry about the enlightenment, don't worry about the awakening or the spirituality or the types of clothes you wear or whatever. Do the things that make you happy. The things that excite you the most. And as I said, as long as you're not doing any harm in the process of that, you're good, you're golden. Love yourself. Don't put yourself in positions that could potentially harm you. Don't put yourself in positions that take away from you. Put yourself in positions that serve you. I mean, if you want to go for that $1 million, go for that $1 million. Just so you can see that $1 million wasn't the thing that you were looking for. You were looking for some concept of happiness or peace. Because all feelings are fleeting. Happiness is fleeting, sadness is fleeting, depression, even ego is fleeting. I had a meditation student at one point that was so self-degrading. And I was like, man, if anybody else spoke to you the way you speak to yourself, you'd punch him in the mouth. You know, coming from ego-centered, right? You would punch him in the mouth. I mean, that's just a normal thing. Like, you can't talk to me that way. Then why are you doing it to yourself? Why are you talking to you that way? Is it really necessary? I mean, our first love, our first romance should be with ourselves. Don't worry about what other people think of what you're doing or how you're doing it. Do you think Frank Zappa gave a shit what people thought about his music? He was making music. Do you think Steve Vai, when he got into Frank Zappa's band, was giving a shit about how other people saw him? He was there to learn. And he learned more from Zappa than probably at any point in his life, maybe even back when he was being instructed by Satriani. And that's just a musical connotation. So that's the thing that we're always striving toward, is trying to find the true self in order to let the imagined self recede back into the distance where it belongs. Because the ego, it's necessary. It's just a little candle flickering in the wind. And as you hone it, it becomes a lantern, right? And then it becomes a torch. And then it's a spotlight. Because you're not trying to kill the ego. You're trying to figure out what it is, why it goes, why it moves, how it does the things that it does, and what is restricting it from being its absolute highest potential. And that's how you let it go. You let it go by accepting it fully, by being in it, by allowing it to blossom like a lotus. There's a reason why a lot of Eastern traditions use the lotus as a symbol. Not only does it look like the flower of life in sacred geometry, but it is a perfect representation of how we can rise from our lowest potential and blossom to our highest potential. You're fine exactly how you are. And the more you struggle, it's like the Chinese finger trap, right? The more you struggle, the harder it is to pull apart. But if you relax and you let go, suddenly it frees itself. And that's your ego. Suddenly it will free itself. As always, much love.